Hello viewers, welcome to the course on Economics and Law Part 1. This module provides a brief overview of the concepts of economic and product liability. In this introductory chapter, we will explore economic liability, product liability, and their impact on businesses as well as customers. The main objectives of the module are to understand the concept of economic liability, to understand the concept of product liability. Did you know that the idea of product liability dates back thousands of years? Roman Empire merchants and manufacturers were held accountable for flaws in the goods they marketed, demonstrating an early awareness of the need to protect customers from dangerous or defective products. How does our interconnected global economy ensure the safety of products, and what happens when the distinction between profit and consumer welfare seems blurred? This query serves as the central focus of today's lecture into the fields of economic and product liability that actually examine the ethical, legal, and economic factors that influence the state of consumer protection. Product liability cases can lead to legal actions, and individuals who have been hurt or harmed by a faulty product may file lawsuits to recover costs associated with their care, lost income, emotional distress, and other relevant damages. Manufacturers and other supply chain participants often conduct product testing, apply quality control procedures, and provide clear usage instructions and warnings to reduce the risk of product liability. They might also get insurance against product liability to help with the costs of any future lawsuits. Product and economic liability are two distinct concepts, but they can occasionally overlap. Let us examine each concept separately using real-world instances. Introduction to product liability. Product liability refers to the legal responsibility of manufacturers, distributors, suppliers, and retailers for any defects in their products that cause harm to consumers. A product must be reasonably safe for the use for which it is intended when it is sold to the public. If a product has a dangerous design, manufacturing, or marketing flaw that causes harm or damage, the people who produced and distributed the product could be held accountable. For example, an automaker creates a vehicle model that has a faulty braking system. The maker might be held accountable for the damages if this flaw causes mishaps and injuries. Victims may file lawsuits for product liability to recover costs for lost profits, property damage, and other losses brought on by defective products. Major US product liability cases. Let us discuss some major US product liability lawsuits that US corporations have faced. Philip Morris Tobacco Products. In 2002, Philip Morris, now Altria Group Inclusion, confronted a $28 billion lawsuit over a woman's lung cancer. She claimed that smoking cigarettes had caused her illness and that her tobacco addiction resulted from the tobacco company's failure to warn her of the risks of smoking. The company was ordered to pay $28 billion in punitive damages and $850,000 in compensatory damages. Philip Morris appealed the case, and 9 years later, the amount was reduced to $28 million. General Motors Company, automobile parts. In March 2008, General Motors confronted a product liability suit for alleged damage caused by a harmful chemical in its Dexcool coolant, leading to leaks and engine issues. A class action suit on behalf of about 35 million GM customers resulted in individual payments ranging from $50 to $800. Types of product defects. There are 3 types of product defects that can result in liability claims. Design defects. Design defects are inherent as they exist before the product is manufactured. These happen when a product has a built-in flaw that renders it excessively hazardous. Customers may still be at risk from a design flaw even in cases where the product is flawlessly manufactured. For instance, the fuel tank design of the Ford Pinto, a popular compact car that the Ford Motor Company launched in 1970, caused a great deal of controversy. The fuel tank's placement left the car susceptible to rupturing and exploding in rear-end collisions. Manufacturing defects. These errors occur during the production process and lead to a product that differs from the original blueprint. Manufacturing flaws, in contrast to design flaw, are typically accidental and affect a small portion of the products in a given batch. For instance, authorities found that the propellant in the Takata airbag was the source of the potentially fatal defect. Takata used an ammonium nitrate compound without a drying agent to inflate the airbags. However, this propellant can burn too fast and cause the inflator to explode. Marketing defects. Failure to warn. This kind of fault entails providing insufficient instructions or alerts regarding the possible risks associated with using the product. The manufacturer might be obligated to provide enough instructions or warnings if a product has hidden risk for the consumer. For instance, in the 20th century tobacco industry, many tobacco companies fought long-term legal battles over flaws in their marketing. These businesses were charged for many years with minimizing or hiding the dangers smoking poses to one's health. The tobacco industry eventually had to deal with serious legal and financial repercussions. Because of the numerous lawsuits it filed to deceive consumers about the risks associated with smoking. Introduction to economic liability. The term economic liability describes the duty or accountability for financial losses or other economic consequences. This can happen in several situations, including financial investments, contracts, and business dealings. For instance, consider a business that signs a contract promising to deliver a specific amount of goods to another company within a given amount of time. The delivering company may be held financially liable if it violates the terms of the agreement. The other party may take legal action to recover damages, penalties, or other financial costs for the economic losses they incurred because of the contract violation. Here is another example of economic liability. Imagine a software development company that has been contracted to create a custom software solution for a client's business operations. The contract specifies a set of timeline for the completion of the software and includes performance benchmarks. If the software company fails to deliver the product within the agreed upon time frame, or if the software does not meet the specified performance standards, it could face economic liability. In this scenario, the economic liability might involve penalties outlined in the contract, reimbursement of the client's expenses incurred due to the delay, or even potential legal action. The economic consequences could extend beyond the immediate project, affecting the software company's reputation and its ability to secure future contracts. This example illustrates how economic liability in the business realm encompasses financial repercussions resulting from the failure to fulfill contractual obligations or meet performance standards. Intersection of economic and product liability. In situations where a defective product causes economic harm, both concepts can be entangled. For instance, if a business purchases machinery for manufacturing and due to a manufacturing defect, the machinery malfunctions, causing production delays and financial losses for the business, the manufacturer may be held economically and product liable. The economic liability arises from the financial losses suffered by the purchasing business, while the product liability stems from the defective machinery. Impact of economic and product liability on stakeholders. Economic liability and product liability can have significant impacts on businesses as well as on customers, affecting their financial health, reputation, overall operations, well-being, safety, and satisfaction. Let us discuss how each of these liabilities can affect these stakeholders. Economic liability impact on businesses. Financial consequences. Economic liability can result in financial losses for businesses, often in the form of damages, penalties, or contractual obligations. For example, breach of contract, failure to deliver goods or services, or other contractual violations may lead to financial liabilities. Legal costs. Businesses may incur legal expenses in defending themselves against claims of economic liability. Legal battles and settlements can be costly, diverting resources away from core business activities. Reputation damage, failure to meet financial obligations or contractual commitments can harm a business reputation. This may affect relationships with customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders, potentially leading to a loss of trust and future business opportunities. Operational disruptions. Financial losses due to economic liabilities can disrupt normal business operations. Companies may face challenges in meeting their day-to-day expenses, paying suppliers, or investing in growth initiatives. Product liability impact on businesses. Legal costs and compensation. Product liability cases can result in legal battles, settlements, and compensation payouts. Businesses may incur substantial legal costs and may be required to compensate individuals or entities that have suffered harm or losses due to defective products. Reputation damage. Product recalls, negative publicity, and public actions related to defective products can severely damage a company's reputation. Consumer trust and brand loyalty may be eroded, impacting sales and market share. Increased insurance costs. Businesses may experience higher insurance premiums or difficulties obtaining product liability insurance following a significant product liability case. This can add to the overall cost of doing business. Regulatory scrutiny. Government regulatory agencies may investigate and impose fines or penalties on businesses for producing or selling unsafe products. Compliance with safety standards and regulations become crucial to avoid regulatory actions. Combined impact. Financial strain. The combined impact of economic and product liabilities can place significant financial strain on a business. Legal expenses, compensation payouts, and the costs associated with addressing product defects can accumulate, affecting the company's financial stability. Strategic re-evaluation. Businesses may need to reassess their strategies, quality control measures, and risk management practices to mitigate the impact of both economic and product liability. This could involve changes in manufacturing processes, supplier relationships, and contractual agreements. Economic liability impact on customers. Financial losses. Customers may experience financial losses if a business they engage with fails to fulfill the contractual obligations or goes bankrupt. For example, if a customer has prepaid for goods or services and the business cannot deliver, the customer may lose money. Disruptions in service. Economic liability issues such as business closures or disruptions can lead to a lack of access to products or services. This can inconvenience customers who rely on those products or services for their daily needs. Uncertainty and instability. Economic instability within businesses may lead to uncertainty about the availability and pricing of products or services. Customers may be hesitant to make long-term commitments or investments in such uncertain economic environments. Product liability impact on customers. Personal injury or harm. Product liability issues such as defects in products can result in physical harm or injury to customers. This can include injuries caused by malfunctioning equipment, harmful substances in products, or other safety hazards. Financial burden. Customers may incur medical expenses, property damage costs, or other financial burdens as a result of injuries or damages caused by defective products. Seeking compensation through legal action may be necessary, adding further stress and costs. Loss of trust. When customers discover that a product they purchased is defective and poses risk, it can lead to a loss of trust in the brand. This loss of trust can extend beyond the specific product, affecting the customer's perception of the company as a whole. Combined impact. Safety concerns. The combined impact of economic and product liability can create a situation where customers not only face financial uncertainties but also safety concerns. For example, a customer may experience both financial loss and physical harm due to a defective product, amplifying the negative impact on their overall well-being. Consumer awareness. Increased awareness of economic and product liability issues, especially through media coverage and product recalls, can make customers more cautious in their purchasing decisions. Consumers may seek out information about a company's track record in terms of product safety and financial stability before making purchases. Transformation and legal evaluation. With the rise of international trade, the emergence of global supply chains, and the rapid development of e-commerce, the modern consumer goods and services market has seen a drastic transformation. This has resulted in a plethora of new options and opportunities for consumers, as well as new delivery systems and products. Additionally, it has made consumers more susceptible to new kinds of dishonest and fraudulent business practices, as well as the sale of goods based on false information. Consequently, in order to control the sectors and safeguard the interests of customers, a strong legislative framework is needed. The new Consumer Protection Act 2019, CPA 2019, which was recently implemented by the Indian Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, has replaced the entirety of the 1986 Consumer Protection Act. One of the key ideas in the CPA 2019 is product liability. The CPA 2019 now provides a detailed ambit on product liability with specific responsibilities and liabilities of a product manufacturer, product service provider, or product seller of any product or service to compensate for any harm caused to a consumer by such defective product, manufactured or sold, or by deficiency in service relating thereto. The concept and historical development of product liability law are important to comprehend to appreciate the origins of these particular provisions as well as the general notions of product liability included in the CPA 2019. Principles of product liability law. The product liability law first emerged in the common law idea of caveat emptor, which translates to let the seller beware, and places responsibility for any issues a buyer may have with a service or product. Product liability refers to a company or vendor's obligation to pay damages or harm resulting from faulty products that they have sold. General principles of contract law and tort law have developed because of product liability cases. In contract law, product liability is based on the concept of warranty, and in tort law, it is based on the principles of strict liability and negligence. Theories of product liability law. Early product liability jurisprudence was based on contract law principles, wherein courts granted remedies in cases where a product's warranty was broken. A warranty is the same as a guarantee. It can be expressed or implied, and it is basically the product's nature or quality that serves as the foundation for a purchase. Therefore, a customer may file a product liability lawsuit if the goods do not meet the promised nature or quality. The courts moved towards tort law concepts of negligence and strict liability to protect the interests of consumers because contract law did not provide enough protection in product liability cases. Simply put, negligence is the absence of appropriate care, and it frequently holds true when there are improper designs, warnings, or privacy. Sellers who do not proceed with appropriate caution are committing a careless error. However, several potential defenses, including proximate cause, contributory negligence, misuse of the product, subsequent product alteration, and plaintiff assumption of risk, undermine negligence claims. The courts created the strict liability doctrine, which states that sellers of products that are dangerously defective or unreasonably defective will be held accountable for any personal injury or proprietary loss after the arguments of negligence and warranty failed. Saying that this principle is unbreakable, however, would be incorrect because there might be product liability disclaimers, a recovery cap, or situations where the economic loss is not recoverable. We observe that the CPA 2019 also anticipates certain exemptions to a product liability action based on this qualified principle. Conclusion. In the end, it can be concluded that the intersection of economic principles and product liability underscores delicate balance between market dynamics and consumer protection. Economic factors such as market competition and consumer demand influence business practices, while legal frameworks shape the responsibilities of manufacturers, service providers, and sellers. The evolving landscape marked by global supply chains and e-commerce introduces new challenges, making a robust legal foundation imperative. Recent developments exemplified by the Indian Consumer Protection Act of 2019 reflect the ongoing efforts to address emerging issues and enhance consumer safeguards. Real-world cases involving companies like Philip Morris and General Motors illustrate the tangible impact of economic and legal dynamics on product liability outcomes, emphasizing the critical need for ethical business conduct, consumer awareness, and effective legal measures to ensure a fair and secure marketplace for all stakeholders. That's all for today's lecture. I hope this has raised your concerns about this important topic. Have a nice time. Goodbye.